Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to reactive forms, where we will be mainly start discussing the concept that is related to form record. I'm sure you might have heard about this term while working with your Angular projects, because this is something that is frequently utilized in the Angular projects. So today we are going to identify like what all things we should know as a theoretical thing while that can help you to prepare well for your interviews or exams. So these all things we will be discussing from this session. So in the upcoming sessions, like, we will also talk about some practical examples, but before that we will cover some theoretical questions that are frequently asked during the interviews. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to use reactive form record. But prior to that, you should know what is form record, why do we need it, what are the benefits, and other thing that we will be discussing in this session. And also, as a prerequisite, you should know what are the reactive forms and what are the form controls, so that will be helpful for you. Okay, all right, so let's get started. Here you can see currently I have noted down first question, what is form record? And I'm sure like this is a question which will be asked for sure, like if you are in an interview, because if there is a topic related to form record, they will simply ask you the definition first, right? So in that situation, how you will answer this question, I have prepared the simplest notes for that. So you can see here, form record is a reactive form container that manages a dynamic collection of form control. Form record is a reactive form container that manages a dynamic collection of form controls where the control names or keys are not known in advance. Okay, so let's break down this definition into parts. So first part is clearly mentioning that it is nothing but a container of a reactive form. Okay, so form record is just a container of the reactive form that particularly manages a dynamic collection of form controls. Okay, so it mainly manages a dynamic collection of a form controls where the control names or a keys are not known in advance. Okay, so here the keys are not known in advance. So just imagine a project where you are working with a Angular form and you are not sure about the fields or the keys, or you can say the control name that you are going to utilize later on, right? So in that situation, what we will do, we will utilize this form record, because it is mainly used in those situations where we want to manage the collection of form control, and in that situation control names are not even known in the advance. So in that condition only we will utilize this form record. Now second important line for this question is, you can simply say that it acts or it behaves like a dictionary where we have key value object. Okay, so we have key that mainly represent the control name, and then we have value that represent key represent the control name, and value actually represent the form control. Okay, so this is also a kind of definition that form record is nothing but a container that act as a dictionary where we have key values object, and in terms of keys we store the control name, and in terms of values we store the form control. Okay, so I think by this line now we know what exactly the form record is. Now let's see the structure, like how actually it will look like. So here you can see we have this structure, although like structure and coding related things would be more clear when we are doing actually the practical of this topic, but it's fine, like as a basic overview we will just identify the structure so that we have some idea or some information before we directly jump into the practical part. Okay, So here you can see the example structure where we have home, then colon, and then the form control. So this is a key and this is a value. Likewise, we have office, form control, family, form control. Now just assume this as an example where we want to store multiple mobile number or phone number in different categories like home contact details, office contact detail, family contact details, or friends contact details. So this is how like you will store the values in terms of form record, because here we want to manage multiple controls, and in that situation controls name are not even known in advance. I'm not sure like what all controls will come after this, so this will be useful to manage the collections of control dynamically. Okay, so this is all about the form record. Now we have understanding what is form record, so it's time to understand why form record was introduced earlier. So before Angular introduced type reactive form, developer used FormGroup for dynamic control. Yes, so we all know that we already have studied the concept that is FormGroup, right? And frequently like we were using those FormGroup while learning this concept, right? Then why suddenly it changed to the form record? What were the issues with the form group that has been resolved by the form record? So these all things we will be discussing. So first problem with the form group is keys had to be predefined. Yes, so if you are in a situation where you want that you need a keys and you are not known of the keys, right? You are not aware what all keys are there. Keys are not predefined, so in that situation you won't be able to use form group, because here we had to be predefined, keys had to be predefined. Second thing is type safety was very difficult in case of form group. Third thing, dynamic structures were harder to manage. Okay, so if you want to build the dynamic structures, then it will be it is considered as harder part to manage of it. Okay, so let's draw a parallels between both the things, form group as well as form record. So in case of form group, keys had to be predefined, but in case of form record, it is not supposed to be predefined. In case of form group, type safety was difficult, but in case of form record, type safety is not that difficult. In case of form group, dynamic structure were harder to manage, but in case of form record, it is not, dynamic structure were not harder to manage. And then you can simply say that yes, with these feature, form record solves this by allowing unlimited dynamic keys while maintaining the type safety. Okay, so you can simply say that yes, form record simply solves all these problems that comes with form group by allowing unlimited dynamic keys while maintaining the type safety. Okay, so now we have idea what exactly the term form record is, and also we know why form record was introduced earlier. Now the next question comes, the structure, the basic structure. As I mentioned, like things would be more clear when we are going to cover the practical examples, but at least we should know the structure so that it would be helpful for us to identify the issues or structures that we are going to build in the upcoming sessions. So let's see the definition of form record. So conceptually, like form record can be introduced or understood as, so you can see form record where form control of T. So this T is mainly representing the type of the value stored inside the control. Okay, so it will just represent the type of the value that are stored inside the control. For example, we have phones where new form record form control is string. So here you can see keys are dynamic and values must be string. So in such type or in such way you can simply specify all the form record information. Clear? So I hope these all things are clear. So mainly what we learned in this session, we learned what is form record and why form record was introduced earlier, and also we discuss about the definition of the form record. So I hope this session is clear to all of you, and I'm sure like most of the developer don't prefer to go with the theoretical concept, but these are some basic concept that every developer should know, And don't worry, like we will also do the practical in the upcoming sessions, where we will see all possible examples related to FormRecord. Meanwhile, you can go through these concepts, and if you have any queries or question, you can reach out to me through the comment section. So I would be more than happy to answer all your questions there. So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.